Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we take complex financial filings and break them down into plain English with a smirky foreshadowing joke. Today we are diving deep into LendingTree's latest quarterly report, and let's just say there's more than meets the eye when it comes to their financial health. LendingTree is a company that helps people shop for financial products like mortgages and loans online. It's like a super mall for your money needs. Scroll 49 on 31 Act 2 June 30 2025. LendingTree had about $49 million in cash. That's a good chunk of change, keeping the lights on. I've auctioned $49 million in cash. That's a good chunk of change, keeping the lights on. Their insurance business is really booming. Insurance revenue jumped by a massive 21% compared to last year. That's a lot of people shopping for insurance. But here's an interesting twist. While insurance revenue went up, the profit from that segment only went up by 10%. This means it's costing them more to get that revenue. Perhaps they are spending more on ads, which is eating into their profits. Their home loan business is also doing well. Revenue here is up 26%, mostly thanks to their home equity loans. People are definitely looking for ways to tap into their home's value. The consumer segment, which includes things like personal loans and credit cards, also saw a solid 12% increase in revenue. Now let's talk about the cost of getting all this business. Selling and marketing expenses shot up by 19%. This is a big deal because it means they are spending a lot more money to get customers, which directly impacts their profitability. This increase in spending is directly tied to something they call variable marketing expense, which they've increased by a whopping 20%. This is essentially their advertising budget. You can see it's a huge part of their costs. Scroll net income loss and comprehensive income loss. TMIS 882 scroll. All of these increases in revenue and cost. Let's look at the bottom line for the 3 months ending June 30, 2022. 2025, LendingTree actually made a profit of around $8.9 million. That's a positive sign. Scroll net income loss and comprehensive income loss come third. 5113 says scroll. Takes a 25 when you look at the 6-month period ending June 30, 2025. They are actually sitting at a net loss of about $3.5 million. This shows that while the recent quarter was good, the overall year-to-date picture is not as rosy. Scroll interest expense net to N400. 2C scroll XC, really significant number here is their interest expense, which jumped to over $10 million for the quarter. This is mainly due to increased borrowing. The company is taking on more debt to fund its operations, which is a big factor in their financial performance. Scroll adjusted EBITDA 3137 A93 scroll. LendingTree also reports something called adjusted EBITDA, which is a way to measure profitability by excluding certain expenses like interest, taxes, and depreciation. For this quarter, their adjusted EBITDA was about $31.8 million. Scroll adjusted EBITDA given 526, 4919 scroll, but looking at the 6-month period, their adjusted EBITDA is around $56.4 million. This metric is higher than their net income because it adds back those non-cash expenses like depreciation and stock-based compensation. It is still a significant increase from the prior year period. Scroll net cash provided by operating activities TAC 27,743 scroll. In terms of how much actual cash the company is generating from its day-to-day business, their operating activities brought in about $27.7 million for the first half of 2025. This is a huge improvement from the same period last year, which is really positive. Scroll net cash used in financing activities to 2952 scroll. When we look at financing activities, which includes borrowing and repaying money, they had a net inflow of about $21 million in the first half of 2025. This is largely due to taking out more loans, which is how they are funding some of their growth. Now let's put all this together. LendingTree is experiencing growth, especially in its insurance and home segments, which is great. But this growth is coming at a cost. They are spending a lot more on marketing to drive this growth, and they are also taking on more debt to finance these efforts. The really interesting part is the contrast between the good quarterly profit and the year-to-date loss. This tells us they are making progress, but they still have a ways to go to become consistently profitable. The increased interest expense is also something to watch closely as it directly eats into their profits. While they are bringing in more cash from operations, the increasing debt levels could become a concern if interest rates continue to climb or if their revenue growth slows down. The insurance business shows strong revenue, but maybe not the profit growth that you'd expect, which suggests they might be overspending on customer acquisition there. Overall, LendingTree is on a growth trajectory, but it's a growth that's being fueled by increased spending and debt. We need to see if they can convert this higher revenue into sustainable profits without jeopardizing their financial stability. Right, that's our breakdown of LendingTree's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description if you want to chat with us directly about these reports. Thanks for watching. See you next time.